Alright then, hello and welcome back to another stream. If it's live, I don't know. Hello, welcome, test. I think we are live, we are good, we are ready to rock and to continue on developing. And you know me, I always trash talk when we start these things because, well, I need to have a bit of headroom to check on YouTube that everything is like going to plan and we are good. So yeah, on YouTube I see that my stream looks nice. Let me quickly get up all my setup, like getting my chat ready for a different monitor so that I can monitor the chat properly. Now let me quickly check if all the audio stuff is working again by pausing it, going to YouTube, and you're gonna hear me multiple times now. We are good. So yeah, on YouTube I see the stream looks nice. Let me quickly get up. Yeah, that looks good. At least, yeah, maybe the music could be a short, a bit louder. But okay, there we go. So everything set up, everything ready to roll. Welcome back to another stream on my game engine development. In the last stream, we didn't manage to get fire. I mainly had like a bug that I tried to fix and did a bit of reworking stuff and really did not get to a point where we added much, I think. Did I git commit this all? Yeah, I committed this all. I might take a look at the git commit, but we didn't really implement that many things. Alright, today we want to do it. Today we want to hopefully get further. But before that, we need to do a bit of maintaining and doing stuff that I initially planned to do between the streams, but I was not, didn't have time for that. Was quite involved the last week too, for university and other stuff. So I really didn't manage to do many things. So let's get up all the windows and all the IDE windows so that we are ready to rock. And let's see where we left off. So I do want to refactor error handling. In my exceptions dot, or I think the exception thing, the exception header. Let me quickly find it. Exceptions. Where were they? Util exceptions. Basically, what I had is instead of the exceptions, I had a function called getOSLastError. I don't want to have that here. I want to have this properly abstracted away. So in Windows util, we're gonna have a new item called winError. winError.h. And we're gonna have here namespace pdk HL hardware abstraction layer Windows. That's it. So make a class winError. Do we want to implement an interface here? Let's see how we want to do it. I don't think we really need an interface here, but we can make this differently. Or we want to do it, we want to have an interface, and maybe we want to have some. It's gonna make things easier, right? So let's do a interface, but I don't think that I have like a proper contract for that. No, I'm not gonna make this then. I'm gonna do this completely with mapping. So in the mapping package, we're gonna have a new item called error.h. And for example, how did I do this? Namespace pdk hardware abstraction layer, and then just some other stuff. So this is probably gonna go into the OS namespace here, and then we're gonna have a function, an inline function in here. So let's reference some other things. So how did I do this? I included the interfaces and then I did the includes. Okay, so similar to that but different. So let's start by first including util winError. And what we basically want to do here is, first of all, I want to say using error t equals something. So error t, so the error type, the operating system type, and this is going to be equal to h result on Windows, which is probably not a thing yet because we haven't auto-loaded Windows here. So PDK, engine, autoload, win SDK. I mean, this is something that might also go to a different, that header might also go to a different thing in the future. But what I need to do here, of course, is I need to check that we are on Windows. And what I also want to do, this is something that's currently missing everywhere else, is I need to, I do want to have a default error pragma directive if the implementation is missing for a certain operating system that we are getting an error. I don't know, do the errors, are they required to be in quotation marks? I'm not quite sure, I think. I think it's not really, is it required? Error directive. If I now go to the error. So I don't need to have it in here. Okay, so not implemented for OS. And this is something that I like now gonna copy paste to all of the other things in the mapping package. So like there. Even though like this is a bit different, but I'm gonna copy this down here just to indicate this. I mean, maybe it would even better to maybe copy this directly at the top so that we just have one. That we're gonna have the error above here, and then down here we don't need to take a look at errors. I think this is better. So let's copy them here as well. So the idea is basically that we have a proper error type, so that we can use this later on for handling stuff. Because what the operating system thinks are gonna be is there's gonna be a function std string, which is not included here, but might be in a, okay, I don't think that we really need it here, but no, because it's just a mapping type. This should all be in here, the includes. So string is going to be here because we're gonna have a function, a static, well, public static std string. I think maybe we just call this error, not win error. Should be good. Or maybe, yeah, just call it win error. I like the name win error. std string, so we wanna translate or get error message text hResult hr, and I want to have a static hResult get OS last error code, so that we have them here. Now let me quickly delete everything that you might want to do with that class, because this class should not be instantiated. I mean, yeah, I could. I think it like it's no point in deleting all of them, but let's just do it here. All right, these are the ones that I want to kind of like reference from error.h. So inline std string, I want to call this get error text, and this is gonna get an error t error. And if the ProEdge, I don't know why it's not really willing to do proper intelligence. So basically what I want to do here is return just Windows win error, get error message. I think I just want to call it get error text here as well. Error text for the error. Get last error code. These are the names that I want to use. We're gonna have another inline here. Inline error t. Get last error code. I want to say get last error code without a parameter, and then we are good. Now we basically mapped these from the mapping package to the operating system ones. They are mapped like that, so That should work like a charm. Now we just need to implement that one, these two functions. So let me, this can be inline. Static H result get last error code. This can be inline. Get last error. Microsoft get last error function. Here. The other one, the get error text, is a bit more involved, so I want to create a file where I want to write this. Now, what is the issue with that? Did I not return that? Yeah. There we go. Now, let me add the implementation here. We already have that implementation, so it's not going to be a big deal. We just need to copy it over. Here, that one is the implementation. So, that one is going to completely go from here. We don't need this anymore. This one should not be operating system dependent, and we don't really want to reference that function here as well. So instead of Windows error, where do we have it? Util. Did I close this up? No, yeah, I did. I don't know why I did it, but I have done it. So basically what I want to do is I want to paste that code in here. This just needs IO, manip, and stream. Stream, IO, manip. I think these are the right ones. Look at this. Maybe one of them is not in there, but they are all in here. Okay. So first of all, the H result is given here, so I don't want to assign this from here. So we just do it like that. Then the H result is being translated. That's good. It's actually everything that I need to change here. The rest is completely fine. And now win error is kind of like done. Win error is going to get multiple functions later on. We might add a bit more relevant functions in the future. We're going to see what we need. Alright, so now we just need to use it in the exception here. And basically what I do want to support on the exception here is I want to have two constructors. I also want to have one that allows passing in an H result. So first of all, this is no longer required. This is now all abstracted away. So we're going to go to the hardware abstraction layer, implementation mapping, error.h, so that we get the error messages mapped in. And then I want to have an OS error, one that allows also the specification of operating system errors. So we're going to have an error T error. So this is like HAL OS error. So that we have two constructors here, one without and one with. Or could we just say got last error code here? Yeah, we can directly do it here. So that we have the last error in here as well. I just need to pass this, let's just call it error here as well. So pass this one down there as well. And maybe just call it error. And then let's go to the exception implementation. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I need to get used to the Visual Assist shortkeys. There's no way around. Now I just need to, I think... We just need to store the error code, okay. Error code. Let's do it like that, error code. So, HAL OS error code. What we're gonna do here is HAL OS get error text from my error code to retrieve the text down in here. Now we just need to store it. So error code is equal to the error given here. And now we have the error code in here as well, and a bit more dynamic and a bit more cross-platformy. Now the only thing left to do is to use this macro now as well. So the throw.h, which is also now throwing h result, now needs to be a bit more verbose. Now basically what I want to do is I want to add another section here, and I'm going to say h result error is equals to expression, and if error failed, I'm going to also invoke the error macro here with the error code. Now we have proper checkings of the h result, because now we are doing it differently, not in the constructor. I don't know why we have done that. I think I have done that because of a different bug. But it is the proper way actually to do it. We could try to also set last error here, but I think this is the proper one because we don't know what happens when the exception travels up. Now, we might... No, we can just try it out now. And see, because we already have something failing, so this is actually good. If it looks different. So, okay. Yeah, it is a different error code. That error code, we didn't get that last one. So that's good. So failed to create swap chain, function, dxgi, display surface, it's a constructor, line 35 in PDK HAL implementation, D3, D12, dxgi, display surface CPP, OS error, the application made a call that is invalid. Either the parameter of the call or the state of some object was incorrect. Enable the D3D debug layer in order to see details via debug messages. OS code, and then we have the code for that message that we just got. Okay, so this is now the proper error code. We didn't get the proper one last time, so that solves that issue. Now, I just need to figure out why the debug layer is not enabled, because it should be. Let's zoom out so they can see it again. Alright, so the debug layer is enabled by the hardware interface, I think. The init and shutdown functions of the hardware interface. Hardware interface, init and shutdown, right? That one is calling in a debug layer. And this should be called before the exception. Let's see. So that one is called and looks good. I have forgotten to mute my electronical stuff here for today, but now it is. Alright, so enable debug layer. The mdebug, it looks good. And the enable debug layer should also be called, right? In theory, so it should be enabled. Maybe we got a message last time and I didn't saw it. Let's see. That's kind of like not working. I don't know why. Now, what was the issue here? The function take a boolean? No. Why is my debug layer not working? They're also using like dxgi. And it might be the dxgi that I need to register like the dxgi message queue. But I don't think that's really like something that I really want to do. Or do I need to make another call to dxgi as well? That's just I just use the dxgi for reporting live device objects. Let's see. Where are we creating my stuff? I think here. Create display service, right? This is the function that is creating the swap chain that is currently failing. This is opening the interface. This is kind of like, let's maybe think a bit about create windows. I mean, we currently have 2 windows. However, I just want to now use 1. I don't need 2, so we can get rid of this second one. Let's maybe quickly close all but this. Let's also go to the header. There should be a header here. So window 2 is also now something that I don't need. So let's see. This one is just debug, layers, create windows. Now this is basically get core renderer D3 D12, and here we basically get first GPU, and now I basically wanna open an interface to GPU. This is basically the D3 D12 device, and I wanna create display surface, which is the swap chain. Now swap chain, and this is what fails currently. So let's maybe quickly inspect it down here, what's going on here. Let's maybe, I do want to get this a bit different. I mean, here I'm directly calling that hardware interface, which is definitely what we want to do. This is gonna, later on we're gonna have something called OS in it, or maybe we want to do it directly. Let's do it properly from the beginning on. Mapping error. Actually, I don't want to call this error. Let me quickly rename this file. I do want to let's call it core OS for the core operating system functions. And core OS is now also responsible for initialization. So first of all, let's create the Windows implementation for that. And core OS is now basically something that happens at the core level. So at the core level of the operating system, I'm going to create a new item. This is going to be called init.h. Now it's, of course, managed to move this into util. Let's put it here. Namespace, PDK, HAL, Windows, OS. And what I basically want to have here is I want to have a void init and a void shutdown. Maybe they also are maybe bool. Yeah, let's maybe just do it as a bool now. Shutdown is void, but the other one should be maybe bool now. Maybe in the future we need parameters for that, but like the argument iterator, this would be something that might be sensible to have there, to have like starting arguments. So we do it like that. Now we have init and shutdown. And basically what I've done in here, this like DirectX stuff, this is what we want to call there, and also potentially other things like co-init. Co-init is also something we probably want to do because we are gonna need it. Like maybe also have VSA in it, but co-init is the first thing that we probably want to do. So what I basically want to have co-initialize x. Need to take a look at this, how this was done. First I need to load it. PDK engine autoload Windows SDK. So co-initialize x. How was it? Fine. I was not matter, but for a quite long time I haven't used that function. Let's quickly get yourself a new window open. I mean, normal co-initialize would be good, but I just want to have co-in-x in here, so that we are good. So reserve, this is null, this is simple, but okay. I think this multi-threaded, I know, so we need that one. I'm just gonna put it in. So it's okay. So this needs to be also asserted. So let's maybe include engine util exception throw here. So first this is gonna be a null pointer, and this is multi-threaded, and then I'm gonna PDK check HR and throw. Just do it like that, or like that. Huh? So fail to co-initialize x Windows. In the future, we might also want to put the expression into the exception, but that's something that we can always do later as well. But I don't know if I want to really expose it. So it's like the most important Windows thing. This is kind of like init Windows itself, and also we're gonna shut down Windows itself. How do we shut down Windows itself? I think just uninitialized. It should be void, I think. Yeah. To shut down the Windows. I think this is like something that you wouldn't really need to call, but it's just something that I want to make sure to always like call there, of course. Alright, so now we basically want to register initialize GFX. So the graphics stuff. Now what do we do on Windows? We initialize these things basically. So Windows and D3D12. Implementation Windows DXGI. And this is D3D12. Is it inside GPU's interface? No, I think hardware interface, yeah. Oh, basically these two. Now this is basically shutdown GFX. It's the other order around, so that one first. We not have an uninit function. We only have. I don't know why IntelliSense is not doing its job, but we do have one. Now we have this initialization stuff properly inside of Windows. Now we just need to call into that. We also remove that one. So CoreOS is gonna have a init function and a shutdown function. So inline void init. No, it's a bool. And then inline void shutdown. So what are these gonna do? They're gonna be something similar to that, but of course they're gonna probably call something. So Windows init.h. So Windows init. I didn't. What namespace? PDGuy Windows OS. Okay. So Windows OS init. I think Windows init would be already enough because it's already inside. I don't know. Let's just keep it as is. Here, and just say shutdown here, which is void, so return is not really doing its thing, so we can do it like that. And this now gives us proper abstraction stuff. And now I just need to bring this into like the, do I just wanna, where do I want to bring it in? Do I want to bring it directly into the layered app, I think. I think the layered app, or just maybe even the iAutoLoadable, I think. Because iAutoLoadable is the lowest level where we can do it. Where do I have it? Autoload. iAutoLoadable. Where is it? Class iAuto. These are just pure virtuals. How do I call them? I think autoload.h is calling them, right? Now, where did I call them? PDK autoload load. Is it then in the iAutoLoadable load function? Yeah, there it is. But I just call that function, so I do not want to have this into the core autoload. So let's put this into, you know, we're just gonna put it into the layered app. However, I mean, like, we could have an app that is not based on a layer stack later on. Let's maybe create a core app inside of autoload. So core app here, core app.h. I do have an issue with my chat, I see. I see that my chat is not available on my window, but I have seen that I've got a message. So now we have a working chat on my monitor. Yes, I'm gonna of course add scripting to the engine. That's gonna be one essential feature, to add scripting there. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do it, however I know that I'm gonna use AngelScript for that. AngelScript is a library that I personally really like. I just used it for a different project. The nice thing on AngelScript is that it works seamlessly with C++. So basically what you can tell what the memory layout of a C++ object is. You can tell that to AngelScript, and AngelScript is not gonna perform mapping and copying between the scripting language and the native object. So basically what you do is you tell AngelScript how the object looks like, and then you give it a pointer, and AngelScript is not gonna manage it. It's not gonna reference count, it's not gonna do anything, it's gonna directly use that C++ object, which is very useful if you have like an engine that works like fully in C++ and you just want to expose calling functions and modifying variables through a scripting interface. So yeah, that's a very nice thing. And it has other benefits. It also has, it's not very the most used thing, but I do really like it. So might also add different languages. However, the first thing that I'm going to add is AngelScript, and maybe want to add Lua. I personally like these more lightweight languages than doing a full C# thing, even if C# is quite nice. Also, thank you, Cian2, for subscribing. Okay, so let's quickly create the core app here. I think the layered app was already like overloading these, so this is a bit of massive refactoring here. So how did the layer app implement itself? The layered app implemented itself by basically having the autoload function and the save autoload. So basically we want to move a save autoload. We want to move save autoload to... No, we want to move autoload to the core app. So that one is going to go. And save autoload is going to be a... Actually, even... How are we going to do this? I think we're going to first move autoload and then later on save autoload in some form. Where is that auto that I autoload? What is the namespace of that? Just PDK autoload, so it's not inside the engine, it's... But this is now engine stuff. Yeah, of course we need to have a class, core app. Was it public? Not public, is it protected? Okay, no, if I forget that one, it's not good. I auto-loadable. Where's the engine or PDK? Where's the I auto-loadable? PDK auto-load, okay. So we're gonna go there. But this is public, so it was right there. So we're gonna add public here, and now this should be good. Let's first create a file. And now let's copy the implementation over from my layered app. I really the .NET Core runtime is not something that I personally really like, and also other people, because there are missing features that are in Mono but not has been ported to the .NET Core runtime. So really, the current state is probably gonna be the Mono runtime, but there's a good document. C# Mono scripting Peter. That one. That guide here about the Mono runtime, how to do it, and also there's, I think it's also an experimentation why not using like the .NET Core thing. And this is actually quite a good. This is really helpful guide if you want to do this as well. It's quite up to date and it's nicely done on GitHub. Would really recommend that one as a reference. It was not out when I did like the scripting series. It's quite new, that guide, which I really would recommend looking at. This also is like showing like what's like going on there, especially with .NET Core. I think was it about Mono and all the versions and stuff. Personally, I really don't like how Mono is redistributed. Like redistributing like all these binary folders, I don't personally like that. Which is why I am a bit away from the C# thing. I really like the language, and yeah, but it's always a really heavy package. That's my problem with like Mono, and it's another thing with what you get with like Lua and also AngelScript, and I think Python also just builds to a static library that can be embedded. Maybe also do Python, but I don't know. I personally don't like the syntax of Python and all that stuff. So for me personally, I really now have found my love with AngelScript, because it really supports everything, but by default it supports like nothing. By default it's just a VM with no features attached to it. However, they are shipping several add-ons with their SDK, and you can use these add-ons to add the default functionalities, like math libraries, so like a script builder that supports preprocessor directives, like including files and stuff like that, and really helpful things. And that's what I personally really like. And the nice thing is on AngelScript that it really is, it integrates seamlessly to C++. You can define trivial types like structs, directly put pointers in the scripting language, add ref counting, implement custom ref counting for objects. You can really do everything if you are dealing with AngelScript, which is kind of like, it's like a hidden player because it has like the source code, I think, not on GitHub, and you do not really find it. You just find it when you're really searching for it, or searching for scripting languages in general. But it's not like that you stumble across of them. If you heard about scripting, you probably heard about C# and Lua. And maybe if you have done a bit more things, you might have heard about that you also can do this with Python or Java. And at some point, you're also going to find AngelScript. I did consider using Java as a scripting language, but Java is... I personally like the syntax of Java, and getting Java into C++ also a thing, but again, Java is similar to C#. It's also not lightweight. Even though you can implement all that know-how protection that like Lua and the other languages are giving you. You can implement this with Java as well, because normally Java, it has a class path where it tries to load jars and your classes. However, what you can do, that I've already tested in an example, you can actually implement a custom class loader in Java, and when you're starting up the VM, you basically tell it that you want to use a custom class loader. And what you do in your custom class loader, this needs to be a jar that's there, but what you do there, instead of the custom class loader in the jar, you just reference native C++ functions that you're going to set at runtime. So basically, you're going to supply your own Java class loader that calls some arbitrary C++ functions that you then can in your engine implement and say, hey, that's the function I want to implement, and then you can basically have all your custom file systems, your custom compiled Java code and stuff like that. And I think if you're overdoing it, you can also do hot reloading of scripts and stuff like that, but it's also not very lightweight. Yeah, thank you for supporting these and watching the videos and being there. Yeah, it's a bit hard of a decision, but for yeah, well, which scripting language you want to go for. But personally, for small projects, I always used and you will use Lua. But for everything a bit more dedicated, I think I'm gonna have to try for AngelScript in this engine. But you can always like change this, right? The idea is to write the engine as modular that you can have as many languages in there as you want, and then later on you can add other languages as well. However, if you're doing like the full AngelScript stuff, it might gonna be a bit hard to also support different languages, because AngelScript is like the most flexible thing that I've seen. You can actually bind functions, for example, if you wanna like say, hey, I wanna provide a static function in the scripting language, but you don't need to bind it to a static instance of C++. So you basically provide a member function of a class to AngelScript and say, hey, this is the pointer to the instance where you want to call this. Or you just say, no, it's a total static function. So it really has all options that you need, which is like really powerful. You don't need mapping between there. It's all done natively by the scripting language, by the library, which I think is really, really useful. So now we're gonna have one problem. Report error is not a thing. Now we just need to make sure that everything and layer stack. The layer stack one is gonna be an issue, and this is also an issue. Report error is the least issue that we can get. And I think this one is also not required at all because we are an STD exception. Now report error. What was report error doing? Report error was basically that one. I do want to have this as an OS function. So we want to have a function in here. Inline void report error std const char pointer error, because in string view would be bad in here. Basically what I do here is I want to have that code in here. So the report error one is completely go out of that one, which is also not supposed to be in here, I think. Or shouldn't be there. Layered app.h. We don't need that one. But there we go. So message is now the error. I just want to rename this to error cured. Which I've mistyped. Oh yeah, there we go. Maybe like that. That's gonna be a bit better, I think. Now we have that factored out. We just need to make sure that we can access it here. So implementation, mappings for our core operating system functionalities. Now the only thing that is not working is that one here. That is gonna be the problem, because we're gonna have virtual functions for that. So actually these ones I might just put protected. I want to have them protected? Probably. I don't know why autoload should be public, but no, it has a certain place that autoload is public. So what functions do I want to have? Do I want to have an init one? I do want to have a virtual bool init. That is can have exceptions. It's not gonna be pure virtual, however. And it can have exceptions. So virtual bool, we're gonna have a run function. That init one is gonna get the arguments. The run one is gonna get no arguments. And it's also gonna be void because it runs and then it returns. Or it throws in exceptions. And then I want to have a virtual roid shutdown, and I want to have a bool head, or maybe we're gonna have a shutdown cause. So what caused the shutdown? We're gonna have the version run returned, run exception. So these are the causes that can be the what was kind of like the cause of the shutdown, and I wanna actually structure this a bit better because it's C++ and we can do structuring however we like. So I wanna do structuring like, come on, like that. So shutdown cause. So what caused the shutdown? And the shutdown function shall be able to get exceptions as well. This now requires us to do a bit more implementation here. So first of all, the run one, this is going to be completely virtual, the run function. I'm not going to do anything. The application needs to have at least a run function. However, shutdown and init needs to be implemented by the client or the other application. And the idea is that you then can also throw exceptions and shutdown, and this is completely checked. So what do I want to do by default initialization? Wanna init os libs. So HAL os init. I basically now want to check. Actually, I just want to return that. Or do I want to have a bool? Okay, equals true. And if not, init. Okay, this is gonna now. I'm gonna macro the shit out of that. For app. And how is this macro gonna be called? This is gonna be called checked init. What is checked init gonna do? It's gonna get an expression, and what I wanna say is if not expression, actually I don't even need to put this into brackets. If not expression, then return false. It's a bit long, but yeah. Then down here we're just gonna say return true. Here it's gonna shut down. I don't care about the cause actually. Just gonna shut down here in the default implementation. And now I do not want to call save autoload. No, what I basically do is I'm gonna say init of the with the argument iterator. And run now might give us a return code actually. So we're gonna have int run. So what I want to say is int return code equals -1. And then I'm just gonna say, no, I'm gonna match my concepts here. Return code equals run. Like that. Now if we had an exception, then we need to also track that. Bool had exception. That's gonna be false. Oh no, I'm just gonna set this to true by default, and then I'm gonna say had exception equals false here. So if we hadn't had no exceptions, it's gonna be set to false here. This is now basically our init and run. And now we have down here our shutdown. And how does shutdown work? So I'm gonna make another try here actually. Actually, it's gonna be same than that. which might be something that we could also put into a function that returns something, but I think we just could copy paste this here yet and see how we get on with that. So shutdown is basically gonna, no, this one is, we could comment this out because this one is gonna go to a different function. So what I basically want to do here is I want to call shutdown, and the cause is gonna be had exception, and if we had an exception, else return run returned. So now we basically called shutdown also in a safe way. And now we have a default implementation that shall be called. And we are ready to bring that into our layered app. So the layered app now, it's no longer be an autoloadable. It's going to now be a core app. That one is not required anymore. Now this is gonna be engine, autoload, core app. Now these ones, they are still the same. However, we want to implement now the virtual functions here. Implement virtual methods, run, init, and shutdown. I don't know why they are looking ugly, but they are. And Visual Studio has problems again. They are in here, that's okay. What do I have on my clipboard? I do have that in the clipboard. This is going to be called on shutdown, and we can already paste it in. Clear layer stack. Before we clean up. It's important because if we don't do it, we're gonna have issues. Now let's just put them all a bit to the top. Because that autoload is no longer in here. They are gonna go in here, and what we had in save autoload, we want to do that here. So save autoload was basically doing that. We want to put this into init, yeah, because we have init there, and if we have init, we're just gonna use it here. And then run is gonna be doing that one. And it's also gonna destroy the app. Why is it also gonna destroy the app in the run? Because this is something that needs to be done before shutdown. This is like the last thing that should happen, and even that, as you can see, we had this multiple times. So you want to make sure to call this here as well, and this is just asserted that if we had any issue before that is this called, or we're gonna have bad issues. Now that one is now just gonna need to be factored to that one. Return. Oh no, I have double return. Like that. So that we have the proper return value in here. I mean, init is okay, even through this like more like a static init, but we can move this on later as well. Maybe set up layers. This is maybe something that I want to call. However, this one is maybe something that I call here. Like this this is like all in here, and the pattern matches. It's all inside of run. This is init, and this is doing different things. All right. So now the layered app.h, we need to do a few things here as well, because I don't like how Visual Assist formats things. And I want to have them into a separate section, because they're kind of like that one. We no longer have save autoload. Another protected section here with these ones in here. So it's like the interface that we implement. Now this should build, I guess. Hopefully it builds. Hopefully I didn't forgot something. Okay, no, I forgot something. Where did I forgot something? Hull is not a class on namespace. Is it not included here? What is your problem? What? Size T to uint. This is size T and this is uint. I mean, we can just cast it even through like the bad things could happen, but errors out of that. So what we were compiling, the layer stack.cpp. Full qualified? Where is that? This is I think this is inside mapping of Core OS. Why do you have problems with that? But it seems like it is still having the error here. But now no longer okay, yes, because it's like from 8. It's coming from 8, okay, though. From core app.cpp. Yeah. Did I miss a Pragma 1 somewhere? Let's see what the issue is. We have circular includes. Thing is, we already got it working. So it really has something to do with also init.cpp. Init.cpp also fails. 9. Layered app.cpp. Window, like, interesting. I think we had somewhere made maybe a circular include. But actually, circular dependencies. But why does init.cpp fails? Because yeah, it's using that macro, right? So let's check this. This goes to throw. Throw goes to exception. Exception goes to core OS. This one goes to init. Yeah. That's could be the source of the problem. Because init goes to throw. Throw goes to the exception. This goes to core OS. This goes to init. What I'm doing on init because I'm okay. So we're gonna do it differently. This is gonna be renamed back to error. Then we're gonna add a new item here. Call it OS, just os.h now. We paste everything from there to there. And then we're gonna stripe out all the error stuff, leaving us with init and shutdown. Now also we can get rid of that. And on error we can get rid of init, which also allows us to get rid of these two. Now this will probably give us some errors because our core app is now no longer gonna know what these tools are. So we want to use os.h here as well. Fixes? Does it fix the error? Okay, yeah, but the error is fixed, but we have now a few different issues. Init must return a value, right? So we want to return true here. And one very important thing that I missed here. We need to call the parent one, of course. Actually, what we could do is we could only clear that one if the cause equals the exceptions. Only if we had an exception, we're gonna clear it again now. See if the linker error is gonna persist. No, of course not, because this was just persisting because of the bugs. The errors, no. Okay, so now it builds, and that should, like, still give us the same issues. So we haven't really archived anything in 1 hour, we just refactored stuff so it's nicer. Okay, so where do we want to now go in and debug? So let's first go back to our minimal app, because that's the one where we are failing. Clone all about this. Now let me quickly see. So first of all, the on app destroy now no longer needs to call these. Window call a close app. Yeah, that's the close callback. That's okay. Destroy is empty now. That's good. Post update checks if we should close. That's good. And then sends an event if we should close. Pre-update returns the time that has passed, which is no time currently. On app and init creates our objects, and on setup layer make sure that the window factory is in place. Yeah, that's everything that we need actually now for this example. So let's quickly give it some time to drink a bit of water, and then we can debug what's going on. So I'll make a breakpoint here, and now I'm gonna go to the OS init.cpp. Can make breakpoints here. And then we can see which order they are called. It should go first to that one, yeah. And let's see. Let's go into these. Enable debug layer. Is this so good? So we get the DLL, the debug interface. Create the DXJF factory. And they're ready. So this actually should do what it should. Okay, so let's continue on. Create display surface, and this gives us goes to new object. Get allocate, okay. No, that's the wrong one. Now I stepped out of it. That was not really the thing that I want to do, but it still gives us the error. So, but why do we not get debug messages? That's not a big question. How did I initialize the debug layer in previous things? Where's my DirectX tutorial? Should be that one. So let's see what's going on here. How did I implement the debug layers? Will include DirectX core xdebug.h. Oh, I did a nice Visual Studio comment style there. Back in the times where you think that writing comments like these are good, but it's not. Oh, you also used lay a lowercase there. Yeah, don't like this these days. That's how you evolve during time, right? So, what did I do here? Get instance, yeah. Validate. If not com pointer, debug interface. What is that to function? Oh my god. I think this was where I... Yeah, this is a scoped com pointer, so it's... Oh yeah, that's the architecture that I've done there. Yeah, that was right. I mean, it was kind of interesting, but yeah. So, okay, so I was the pointer myself. Just called this enable debug layer. Right, so... Very interesting. So this should work. Set GPU-based validation. I think we never have done these, but... Yeah. But what I have done is I always called this on a device 1, but... Really think this is not a big deal. So what was the order of calling stuff? Application. Oh my god, I had a job system in there. Did I really? Seems like it. So I first debug only execute. dx, x debug, get instance, enable. Which should be exactly what we have done here. And then we said GI debug, get instance, validate to validate that the instance is existing. So this is in theory the same thing that we have done, right? GI debug, we could quickly take a look at GI debug. dx, GI, core? GI debug, is this in core? Oh, come on. Or do we had a common? Is it common? Set up? Huh? Okay. So we basically... Yeah, early on that worked. DXGI get debug interface 1. That worked without loading like DLL stuff. Why did I needed to do that in my code? Or did I don't think that is the cause of the issue, but I'm still interested in why. Because I called... Let's check this out. I think we had no flags there. Yeah. So that one works without DLL madness. If that's gonna work, then I had to spend too much time on shit. Oh, no. Oh, come on. I need to recompile because you changed something. No, I changed nothing. Just accidentally pressed the wrong button. So that works. I mean, it's still gonna give us the issue, the same error, but it's gonna make our code way simpler. We don't need that shit. Which means that we also don't need That shit. Okay. So now we have it cleaner, but still not doing the thing that it should do. I could try to... that one I can quickly see if I... That one I know that is battle tested. That call is battle tested, so I am gonna steal that one, even if I think that I might have already have it similar in there. All detail, ignore internal. Ignore internal detail. Yeah, okay, that's the same. So, no, don't really need to change it. Now there's a... now it's a big question. Why do we not have the debug layer? Why is the debug layer not telling us something? It might be because we have a DXGI error. Can we maybe fail DirectX into giving us something? We might be able to fail DirectX to test this out. GPU interface, I think. Or maybe even that failed. Let's quickly see if that queue is invalid. That might be a thing, but it shouldn't fail. Okay, there's a warning. I need to check this. But they are all good. They are also all SDK layer devices, so the debug layer is kind of like on. Because if the debug layer is off, I don't get SDK layer devices. So the debug layer is working, or should be working. However, this might also be not even an issue of me. So this might just be DirectXGI or DXGI being bitchy. Or do we need to subscribe to them? Normally they should just be in here. But we might be able to figure out what's wrong on ourselves. So somewhere in here. Ha 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 ha. So the queue looks good. The window. Does the window look good? That one is okay. What the issue could be is that we are not using a swap chain 1. I don't think that this really is a big deal because it's a pointer, right? No, it shouldn't be a big deal because it's just a pointer to a pointer. It needs to be. So it needs to be one of my descriptors. So we're just gonna steal them. Is the GI output is, I think, a really normal output. Okay, so core, no. I have no idea. Window, maybe window. GI swap chain. There we go. Buffer format, false, sample description 1.0, usage. Render target, just render target output? What? Where did I write this in? Buffer usage. back buffer. Okay, so this didn't fix it. But I'm just gonna keep it there because I know that these values here, they are working. Mode switch tiering, alpha mode ignore, flip sequential. This one is screwing up often. But not today. But the thing is, we could have multiple issues here. Let's put sequential in here. As this aspect ratio stretch, this might also be something that might not be supported by the GPU. It's a kind of new value. They wanted to try out, but let's see. Count 0, no, it's okay. Okay. So it's the scaling value, which it can't work with. So scaling aspect ratio stretch is screwing us up. Congratulations, this is a swap chain inside that window. Which is not drawing, of course, but this is a swap chain. Right? That's a swap chain. So now let's quickly get the values back that I initially tried, because I just want to see if... Okay, that one works, so I think we're gonna use it, because sequential is a bit more... Mine is more relaxed, right? Discard means throw away. I think it's more relaxed. But then no, you need to profile this later on if it's faster, slow, or whatever. Next thing... Okay, that one did work. But render target output, back buffer, discard on present. We can maybe try all three. Which is not gonna work, okay? So this is an illegal combination. Let's quickly maybe do it not the trial and error way. Let's do it the proper way. Oh, this flag is for internal use only, so discard on present. We don't need it. Don't need shader input. Usage back buffer, we don't need to pass this. Okay. But we can check to that. So really the only thing that makes sense. Read only no. Render target output, shader input shared. Only thing that really makes sense is that one. It's an output render target because we wanna. But the thing is, do we wanna output a render target, or it means output render target just outputting it? We could just try to put this in null quickly and see if it fails. Probably. No, we don't even need the flags. Interesting. Because I think output render targets is actually something different. Let's see. Do we go to the game dev forum? Oh my goodness. No, we don't go there. The XGI render target output. Just maybe D3, D12, render target output. I don't care. I'm just gonna put it in there. Always used it like that, so it must be good. So, boom. Now it's doing what it should do, hopefully. As if I started, it still does it. Probably is doing it. There is my window. So we have the present method here. Oh, ZVSync and stuff. This is all not implemented. Set buffering mode is also not implemented all. But we could try to call it and see our app crash. So where's my update function? Pre-update and post-update, but where's the actual loop? Interesting. We are at a layered app that's inside of app core. Did I... How did I call these? I'm just updating my layer stack. I'm not calling like an on update, on post update. Yeah, it's a layer. Okay, so on pre-update is kind of like called before the layer stack gets updated. Post update is after the layer stack. But I might want to have an update function on my app as well. So let's add it. On update. That one, right? So we have that one as well. And now we can use it. Where is it? I mean, the delta is -1, but I just want to call present here. But where is the GPUI? And oh, this is all. So they are already destroyed. Okay. Actually, does it work? I don't think, did we test that last stream? I have no idea. If the handles work correctly, but however, I'm gonna need them later on properly as well. Oh, come on, I already have too many windows open here. Come on, they should be available for you. Why do you not like them? Is it a little assist or who is the dickhead? Did I? Okay, that I'm the dickhead. That one is not in here. So let's put this in here. Engine. I'm currently programming in C++. see. This should now build, hopefully. Yeah. Oh, the method operation is not implemented. That's good. Here, that one. That was the one that was now throwing errors at me. But now what I just need to do is to make sure to destroy this on app destroy. So display release GPUI release. Now let's say display pre. Let's first see that if this works. Okay, so this is now completely black. Because the swap, previously the swap chain was already destroyed. Now the swap chain is its existence, this is why it's black maybe. Now we just need to make sure that the swap chain also updates, which we can do by calling display present. Which is gonna throw us errors. The method operation is not implemented, that's exactly what I was looking for. Now we just need to implement it. Display service.cpp. Present function here. We also need the header because I probably have not stored the buffering modus in here, but I have not stored vsyncing. Vsync. Just by default. Nah, let's just put it to true by default. And set vsync. It's just gonna set this to vsync. Buffering mode is currently not supported. Get buffering mode, we can support this. Turn buffering mode. Set, we don't need to implement this. Now vsyncing itself is if swap chain present one. That's the newer functions. So how does present one look? I think I have not used this for quite a while because the one takes a struct sync interval. So costs the remaining time cancels the remaining time of the previous presented frame and discards this frame if a new frame is queued. So this is just my syncing. Restrict to outputs, there prefer right. Low tiering. Okay. So we don't really need one of them. Okay. We don't want to have one of these. So we're just gonna say vsync mvsync, and if we're vsyncing 1 and 0, no parameters. I'm just gonna put this to null because it's a bit more meaningful. Now present parameters. I don't like the function, it's too complicated. I'm just gonna use the old present one. This just doesn't take that struct. Don't need that functions in that struct. Just gonna make our life harder. This is an age result, so we want to make sure that we catch this. Check age and throw. So if that fails, we want to say fail to present frame. And now we should have a kinda working, not working swap chain. Come on. Window. There it is. If I resize it, you can see it's now completely black. It's a bit laggy, but it's completely black. And completely black means the swap chain is doing its job. It's quite laggy, but I think I already tried to solve these issues, but the issue was not really solvable because the issue is... Oh my god. The issue is more a DirectX an issue because the swap chain works. Okay, now this is expected now, what's happening here. And we are also getting some text down here in the debug layer. I'm gonna copy this one up here into a Word document, not Word document, because Word is not nice. For these things, I mean a normal document. These are that ones. That one is the one that we really care about. The error message. And what's now basically happening is, since we are using the swap chain, there are issues now that we need to synchronize. Alright, so basically what's going on here? Corruption. An ID312 resource object, unnamed object, is referenced by GPU operations in flight on common queue, unnamed common queue. It's not safe to final release objects that may have GPU operations pending. This can result in application instability. The thing is, we are releasing the buffer, the resource that we have retrieved, but we cannot release it because it's still referenced by DirectX, because we are now presenting the swap chain. And this basically means that we need to make sure to wait until we are kind of like done, which is not implemented here. And this is basically this release that occurred here, which is caused by the clear function of my com pointer on the Yolong release function. We're manually calling release, and we're calling manually release because alright, it's actually not in the resource, it's even on the swap chain. Okay, so it's basically we are destructing our DXGI display surface, and this is done because we are deleting the object, which is called by the release function of the H object class, and the H object is released because we released our handle, which happened on the on-app destroy. So basically what happened here is that we try to clean up stuff, and DirectX or DXGI tried to delete resources. Tried to delete resources of the swap chain, but it was not able to delete these resources because they were not there. Like internally somewhere in D3, D12, no, not D3, D12, probably here in DXGI where we don't see source, there happened a final release, a call that's not even available for you, but the final release is like similar to the message here, like, where was it? It's not safe to final release objects, so it's like DXGI tried to say, alright, I'm done, do a final release. And this basically threw an exception because DirectX was still looking at these objects owned by the swap chain, but the swap chain tried to finally release them, and object deleted while still in use is the issue. And that's not something that we want. Why didn't we catch this as an exception? Is the other issue. Because it's probably something, if I would continue... Kernel base, so maybe because it's so low that we don't catch it. But it's something that's not going to happen in the normal operations. And to get to a point where we can... Okay, so we just got to try, so we actually... On a normal application we wouldn't get this actually. Yeah, we got the same thing here with the comment queue. I'm not gonna copy the message, or do I copy it? Maybe I just close the editor window. Oh no, that's not good because it's no longer zoomed in. We also got this here. Our comment queue has been final released while still in use by the GPU. Go away, NVIDIA. Is that really GPU accelerated now? The editor. Okay. This is invalid and can lead to application instability. So basically the comment queue was still doing its stuff. Remember the DX GI requires a comment queue on DirectX 12 because it works with the comment queue for presenting and stuff like that, internal functions that you are not even able to see. And what basically happens is that if you're releasing the comment queue, but it was still like referenced by the GPU, because the GPU still like swap to handle all the swappings and stuff that goes on, it's going to get these errors. Object deleted while still in use. But before we want to do this, I want to get rid of unnamed ID 3D12 comment queue object. Nah, we don't want to have this. We want to have proper namings. How can we do proper namings? Well, D3D12, add a new item, or actually add a new folder called util, add a new item. And what we're going to add is a header file, and the header file is going to be called com naming.h, because this is going to be responsible for naming com objects. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do in an if defined or come on, no. Defined here else and if. So and if something like that is what we want to do here. And what we want to look here is on special defines, ProEdgeGFX debug. How did I call this? Like that, really, I directly got it. So if we are on graphic debugging or GFX naming, if one of them persists, we want to enable naming. If not, this is just going to go into nothing. Just going to call this D3D12 name object. Pointer name. And what is this going to do? It's going to name that. So I'm not quite sure. Like, was it just name the function? Was it really like that? I'm not quite sure. Let's test this out with the display surface maybe. Let's try this out here. So okay. No. Resource. Back buffer. How did I call this? Display surface and buffers. Okay. So because the other ones are no DirectX objects. So how could I name them? How was I able to name these objects? Like get set name. Set name was the function. Okay. You need to answer a message. So, okay. This is actually everything that we need here. I'll just name the object here and done. Alright, so now let's try this out if this works. By the device, probably not, because it might work actually. It needs to work. Why do I need this differently? Why wouldn't you say graphics debugging means naming objects? So GFX debug means debugging, having debug layer and everything, and naming means naming. The thing is, normally you would think you don't need these tier differentiations there, but you need them. You need them because on Inside Graphics, this is a graphic debugger. It doesn't support a debugging interface, but it should have naming enabled so that you know what's going on there. So, Inside Graphics, we want to have naming, but not debugging. And this is why we want to do this like that, so that we have this other one. I mean, we don't have a configurations for these, but we're going to have in the future, we're going to have a, like this full debug one, and we're going to have release, and we're going to have multiple versions of release with debugging interface, without debugging interface, and stuff like that. Like GFX debugging, which just going to put it into graphic debugging without the debug layer naming, or GFX profile, or I don't know how I'm going to name the configurations, but I'm going to get a name. Let's now first go to the GPU interface, and let's start naming these ones. So D3D12 name object, which is probably not included, or 100% not included. So let's hashtag include PDK. Did I really include this at the bottom? Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not following like any good practice or stuff, so it's okay. D3D12 name. That prefix is bad. No, no, no. We're gonna do it like that. Call it like that. I don't want to have future collisions with any DirectX namespaces or something like that, so... This needs to be wide string. Does it work? No, it needs to be the device. That one. Okay. Name. So let's see. Why does everybody spam me now? No idea. I have no idea what's going on there. Stop! Theme quit. Boom. Last stream I quitted it before the stream. Was quite a wise decision. So yeah. Good. Okay. Now, how do we want to name this? D3D12 device, the holy one and single only device. So, like that. That's the proper name. I might change it later on. But currently I'm fine with that. Come on. Yes. It's still gonna fail that, but yeah. Okay, so is there anything else that I want to name? I want to name that newly created command Q, which is also returning an H result that we have not checked. Lol. So basically this is fail to create test command or temp command Q. What? This is not a... The hell? What is wrong with you? Created a... Is it not returning an H result? It is. What is your problem? I'm on debugging. Is that your problem? Yes. That's still not. Funny. Oh. Nah, no. Okay, so PDK, D3D name object, temp Q, temp direct command Q. And actually what I want to do here is I want to have them with normal strings, and com naming is gonna be that name. Heh, doesn't work as well? Oh, come on. How was it able? How did the string macro do this? Was it just with double hashtags in between? Yeah. Let's now actually go and make the configurations, because I do want to quickly test that all of the inside graphics debugging and stuff is working. So, scripts, dev tool, no, generate project, ProEdgePremake.lua, and global.lua. Okay, so we have debug and release. Like, these are the most simple ones, debug and release. Now, basically what I want to do now is completely rename them, which is probably a good idea to close Visual Studio while I'm doing that. I mean, later on would be fine, but I'm completely going to close it because I don't know what happens and what can go wrong. All right, so let's talk about configurations. Now, these are going to be quite intense and... Oh, no. So, there we go. And they might require many additional thoughts. So, debug. I do want to now steal a bit of Unreal Engine terms. Development debug. Did I type this correctly, this word? Yes. So development debug, that's the most simple one. Now I wanna create a configuration for development graphics debug and development release. These are the first ones that I'm going to do. So what debug is going to do is do all debug. So this basically, the target is debug. This target is release. And GFX, we're going to have debug, layer, and naming. Here we're just going to have naming. And that one is target is release. VFX, nothing. That's the current idea that I want to apply there. These three configurations. We're going to have more of them. We might have one that does release but graphic debugging. But I don't think that we need a debug layer if we are not debugging release. So these ones are good for now. Now I just need to see where did we reference the configurations. I think just in these defines. Right? No, we also did them on links. Okay, so let's start by development debug. And I think we can say, couldn't we say not release there on pre-make? I think there was a thing. Pre-make, filter. Filters, okay. Filter prefix keywords. Action VS, action gmake, shared library or I think there was also not Windows, yeah. Okay, so this works. So we can say development debug and not development debug, because development debug is the only one that's going to need debug links. The other ones are going to be release links, because it's a release configuration. Right? Because we don't need debug checks. Now, the defines are going to be a bit more interesting. Where did I configure my symbols? Haven't I configured them? Oh! That is something really, really bad. Symbols on, and I think optimizations, but this is like in the most simple template. Symbols on, optimize on. That's basically what I wanted to do here. So optimization is done as soon as we are not on debug, on development debug. So as soon as we are kind of like in there, this is going to be something real. something that is not running on Rails. But that one is going to be interesting. So, first of all, let's get the GFX debug. Okay, now let's first copy that one. And instead of GFX debug, we're gonna say naming. And I also want to now include the configuration name. So CGF development debug. It's gonna be development GFX debug. So this is gonna be development release. This is then gonna get development release configuration. Later on we're gonna have shipping as well, but this is like the basic idea that I employ here, so that we have a version that we can also use within inside graphics. So let's see if this works. So auto, no, not AutoGen, DevTool, generate project. Generate project. Yeah, there we go. Let's open up Visual Studio and see if we at least, first of all, get to build it at all. We should, but we should get a full rebuild. Hopefully, if we don't get a full rebuild, I've made something wrong, because open folder and file whatever. Nee, well, we don't. You can show it here. Build, because build basically has x64 debug Win64. Why? What naming is interesting. Where did I specify it? Was I drunk? I'm directly using architecture minus short name. Okay, it's automatically appending this with an underscore. So maybe. No, actually, I'm just gonna keep it as is. But it should do a full rebuild, no? First of all, we should have development debug, development GFV. That's good. That's already good. Let's build this now. Should do a full rebuild. We can actually see if we got some warnings that we might need to fix if we are already rebuilding everything. No, that's good. Let's see if it still works. I mean, these lags are to be expected. I hope that's not really impacting the stream in a bad way or something. Come on. I mean, I don't even get the handles, but yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Now let's test the release version. Should just build the same, but it should not have like any debugging layer attached to it. Ah, the release version is actually responsive, lol. Yeah, that's probably because the debug layer is doing something behind and it's expecting you to use it properly, but I've not used it properly, and it's not gonna fail because it's like omitting all the debug checks, like just delete these. It's release it. I have debug layers to do not do checks, yeah, and just do dangerous things. Same should happen on GFX debug actually as well. The only thing that is now basically going on GFX debug here is that the objects are now also named, which wasn't done previously. So it should still be responsive and it should close without crashes. Yeah. So that's good. It still has exited with code 0xff. Probably because the exception... Oh, why? What? Why did I exit it with that code? Is it a bug? Return code? Oh, yeah. There's a bug. Forgot that I added that here. Alright. But now what I want to show you is inside graphics, which I haven't updated quite a while. Maybe we... I have no... I don't really want to log in and download a new version. The old one is probably gonna work fine for now. First of all, I'm gonna remove all of that from the list, and then we're gonna create a new project. We just call this ProEdge minimal app, and say OK. Now we're gonna find the executable. The executable is gonna be in build development GFX debug binary, that one. Example minimal test exam. Do we already have an app directory where we kind of like execute? Doesn't look like it. So just use the application dir. Command arguments, no. Environment, no. Okay. Launch frame debugger. Ah. So probably we need to have a newer version here of Insight. What was the issue again? Let's try it out. Or maybe was it something? What is it? A query for an instance. This message D3D report force failed query. Okay, this is just suppressing the message. Alright. So we have an outdated version of Insight Graphics here, so I cannot do anything yet. So, okay. I hope it's still saving that. Looks like it, good. So, I need a new version of that probably. Wow, I'm using... Yeah, probably because I'm using the latest device. And it can't find it. Let's see if we can download a new version. I mistyped this badly. Am I logged in onto the NVIDIA page for like 5,100% not? Yeah, that's good. Download, where? Download. Or am I allowed to download this? Probably not. Ha, no. Okay. So let me log in quickly. Now the nice thing is that I don't know my passwords because they are stored on my iPhone. So let's mark that one here. I quickly need to find it actually. That's nice that I'm live on my channel. I didn't notice that actually. I need to fix my Wi-Fi here actually. It's still called test Wi-Fi. NVIDIA. Alright, there we go. Now let's type it. Hopefully it's the right one. Ah, yeah, but they, of course, need to send me a mail to log in. I hate two-factor authentication. I love it if you have like a hardware token. Like I can have everywhere, but I hate it actually. Alright, then let's see. Yeah, we got it. A download. I hope this is not gonna influence the stream too much. Because it's downloaded, it should not in theory, but you never know how things roll. Let's see what YouTube says. It's good. I mean, I still have a bit of a bitrate issue, but I always have that used to that error. So let's get the latest version. Come on! Oh, I'm an installer. We are still in 2022, but installers still take ages. I don't know when they're gonna fix installers finally. What is that? I know that icon, but I forgot how it's called. Install Shield? No. Is it a native MSI? I have no idea. But they take ages. Installer need to be there. Not like, oh, this PC has so many cores, such speed, SSDs in here, but no, I'm gonna take ages. From maybe 20 minutes or something like that. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, come on. Come on, give me the UIC prompt to give you admin. Come on, come, make it. Dude, that's taking always too long. This is copying files. Shouldn't take ages. Copy new files, yeah. Now, as you can see, copying the files is fast because SSD and fast processor for decompressing. Registering product, yeah, talking to NVIDIA takes long. There we go. So now I should have 2 editions of Insight here. Might have overwritten that, but no, that's the old one that I've opened up. Good. That's the old one. Ha! Why did I just... This is not good. How do I find the latest one? Insight... Graphics. There it is. First of all, I'm gonna open that folder. I'm gonna follow the syslink. Open file location. Now I'm gonna right click it, show more options, properties, compatibility, run this program as administrator, apply, okay. Now we are set. There is it. Because they need admin. Come on, developer, download NVIDIA. Yeah, download if you want. Come. Okay means okay and not take ages. Okay, so let's see. As you see, now it works. And you can also see now we have 143 FPS, which matches my monitor. VSync forced off, but it's still going to that because it's probably G-syncing and stuff like that, and G-sync makes that as well. And what I can see is if I size the window, the swap chain is not sized because it's basically not implemented. Hit F11 for a frame capture. Yeah, we can do it. Even if we don't have a frame, we have something in here. You can see that we have. If I zoom in a bit, you can see that we have these 2 resources. Textures 2D. These are the ones that we are drawing to. And if I took a look at the API view, you can also see that I called this present function there. And that's nice. So I'm gonna quickly see if I can find all my device objects. I don't know if that was a pick thing or if I was able to API inspect that. I don't think so. Because it's just a... I can view resources in Insight Graphics, but not device objects. Because it's just a frame profiler, not a DirectX profiler. So I don't get the names here. So it's all nice and can terminate the application here. Come on. Good, there we go. And yeah, we have proven that Inside Graphics works with that configuration, which was the only reason to do that. Let's also Pix in there, which is probably not set up as admin. Yeah, I haven't done this there. This is Pix. This is the Microsoft's graphic programmer debugger. So in theory, Pix supports debug layer. But it does not support the latest API features, of course. So I would need to update this as well. Pix is a bit easier to update. Do we update Pix? Just to show you that the naming... Nah, not Pixabay. Pix, Microsoft. Download Pix. There we go. Maybe I should uninstall the old NVIDIA Inside Graphics version, but I'm gonna do that at some point. It's smaller than Inside Graphics, but it has no dark mode. Yeah, replace my previous installed version. That's nice. Qualcomm. I don't know what Qualcomm is doing, but I agree to that. Probably for ARM systems. To debug on ARM. Qualcomm, ARM, probably. To do like ARM debugging. That is a nice installer. That installer is fast, but it's not like a default installer. This is like something. Ooh, that looks. Oh, that looks. Oh, that looks. They have changed the UI. Ha. Launch Win32. Huh. But it still remembers my settings. Good. Okay. Also here, if I. There we have a frame capture, which we can open up. Oh, we actually signaled something. I have no idea that I called signal. This is probably what DXGI called. But what I can do here is API objects, and I need to start the analysis, which is gonna give us errors as hell, but I don't care about errors because I do not do proper debugging now. This is because I'm not on debug. And normally, as you can see now, we have the device, and you can also see that it's called the holy one and single device. And we have this object called temp direct command queue. So you can see the namings are there in the graphic debugging software, which was the whole purpose of that configuration, to have the names in there. If I would open the other one up, the default release one, we wouldn't have names there. But we would still be able to debug it. You could like also, I don't know if there's know-how protection if you are doing a proper game, and there might be extensions that you can add some know-how debugging, that the graphic debuggers are smart enough to say, no, I'm not going to debug you, which is more like a software thing, but in theory you could always debug stuff. We wouldn't see anything if we would use shaders. Currently there's no shaders found, but if you would then have the binary in here, you could not take a look at the source. However, if you're taking the Microsoft shader compiler, you can basically tell it where the source is located. And if you're then inside of Pix, it basically, inside of the debugging blob of the shader, it can then see, alright, there is the debugging information, there is the source, and then you have like full shader debugging, which is nice to have, but currently we are not that far in our journey. But we have a working swap chain, and I think this is already a good thing to archive today. What can we do now? I don't have that many time today. I need to end on in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes probably. Yeah, 10 minutes. But we can do a few things. What fast thing can we do? Which doesn't take too long time. We can actually properly implement command queues. So we can have my direct command queue. We can my copy command queue, and we can have my compute command queue, because we're gonna have one of each of these queues, so it's actually okay. Now we just need to get them all. Direct command queue here. There we go. Actually, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make my life a bit easier. I'm gonna, what is that? D3D comment list type. Copy. And compute. Let's maybe format this so that it looks nice on stream. And later on, if we are in real world, I think, why did I make this into new lines? Yeah, because of the stream. And what we can do now here, let's say first label this, create command queues. And now what I can basically do for let's see, I 0, I smaller, count off. Count off, I don't know where it is, but I'm gonna find it out. This is I think it's a Microsoft specific thing, so we can load it with the WinAP, with the whatever header. stdlib. stdlib is that C? And just a single underscore, that's default. Interesting. Okay, so what we can basically do here, because I'm lazy as fuck, is we can just, oh no, but why not? Why not? Command Q pointer queues. PP queues. This is now I don't know why I'm doing this. This is just now. It's getting worse and worse, but I know. Copy. Compute. I am die-hard trying to not get code duplication here, but it might be not a good idea to do it, but I've already done it. The only thing that we need to copy-paste is these ones, because the names are different. If we run our code until there... Oh, I'm in the wrong configuration. I hope it's gonna fail. So we're gonna go back to debug. So now we have these queues, that's all good, that's nice. Now let's also get the descriptor sizes. Queues, device, root device objects. And then we have descriptor sizes. I think, how big are they? Let's see. Get the descriptor sizes. GPU device. Get descriptor handle increment size. This is a uint. DHS, descriptor handle size. I don't know what types are there. D3, D12. Can you suggest me that as Visual Assist, please? D3, D12, descriptor, heap type. So DSV, RTV. First of all, we have let's RTV, DSV sampler. Now let's actually take a look on how they are built up. So they start by 0 and always add up on top of 1. What are num types? Number of types. So DSV 0, 1, 2, 3. And this is then 4. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, but it start at 0 and they increment, right? Do you know what that means? Yes, an array. With the numbers of, so D3, D12, GPU, descriptor, no, descriptor, heap, num types. Can I just directly use this here? Cast this to an size T? Yeah, that works. Descriptor, MDH increment size, descriptor, handle increment sizes. And then what I do here is basically, let's do size T here. I equals 0, I is smaller than D3, D12. Descriptor, heap, type, num types. Like that. So I will write a loop over that. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna assign this. So MDH increment size at position I equals get the handle I converted to a D3, D12. Ah! Not pasting that one, like that. And now this should in theory also do the trick. And give us 32, 32, 32, 8. Yeah, works. That's good. Okay. So these are things that we're gonna of always need. Now we might need to actually factor these queues out later. Gotta see. We might move them away actually into an old class because the queues might need to signal values. However, I'm not gonna show how I'm gonna do this. Maybe I'm not gonna do this because the queues could be reused and the signaling and waiting can be done somewhere else because there might be different subsystems talking to these queues, or we have one integer for that queue, so every operation that you perform on the queue, so kind of like doing this multi-threaded with locking the queue. Yeah, we're probably gonna write a class for that. So we're gonna probably write a class for that queue, which is basically locking it so that it can perform operations on the queue and have them properly synchronized with lambdas. I hated lambdas, but actually they are nice at some points if you do not overuse them for everything, like many libraries do. So, alright, now I'm gonna add to the folder internal, and I'm gonna create a file in here. D3, D12, Q. Command Q. Just gonna make the namespace internal here as well because it's not exposed. So class D3, D12. Actually no, just call it command Q. Don't want to have noisy stuff around that. Rename this file. Command Q. So this is now gonna also take the code for creating it, so my whole array stuff is pointless. Let's include PDK, engine, autoload. Win SDK, we can no longer move away from this header. I already included this too many times. Okay, Control F, haha. Private com pointer, I think, is it autoloaded? No, it's not, right? Is it not? ID 3D12 command Q. ID 3D12 command Q. No, it's not autoloaded. However, still I'm simply gonna end the stream now because I have no time left today. I still have appointment to meet. And yeah, for that I'm gonna finish the stream. I might implement that one off stream. It's just moving stuff around and I need to do a few lookups on how to implement this as well. But we got quite far today. We did a bit of reworking and made the API and all the code nicer. That's good. So yeah, thank you for attending the stream. Of course it's gonna be there after it's done. Rewatch it, send it to your friends, make sure to like and subscribe so that all the subscribers grow and I have more time and to write that stuff. So thank you for watching, see you in the next video, make sure to like and subscribe. It's not a video, but it's too far back in my head. Thank you for attending the stream, have a nice day, see you on next video. I don't know, maybe I'll still publish one today, but I did a stream today, so maybe video tomorrow, so we can see. Thank you for attending and